In the early 1800s, a quiet Tennessee farmhouse became the stage for one of America's most chilling legends. The Bell family claimed they were haunted not by imagination, but by a force that spoke, struck, and refused to be ignored. Locals would come to call it the Bell Witch. Some said it was the spirit of a woman wronged in life. Others believed it was something far older and far darker. Even Andrew Jackson, the future president of the United States, was said to have witnessed its power and fled in fear. 2 centuries later, the question still lingers. What really happened in Adams, Tennessee? Our story begins in 1804. John Bell, a farmer from North Carolina, moved his wife Lucy and their children to a stretch of land along the Red River in northern Tennessee. The land was fertile, the air was clean, and the Bell family quickly became respected members of the growing community. To neighbors, they were the picture of frontier success, a large farm, good harvests, and a strong Christian faith. But beneath that calm surface, something was stirring. For years, there were small signs, strange scratching noises outside the house, whispers in the woods when no one was there. Cattle found wandering in circles, frightened but unharmed. Then, one autumn evening in 1817, John Bell noticed something unusual in his cornfield, a creature unlike anything he'd ever seen. Its body was like a dog's, but its head resembled that of a rabbit. Its eyes glowed red before it vanished into the shadows. From that moment on, peace would never return to the Bell household. The family began hearing strange tapping on the walls, footsteps on empty floors, and chains dragging across the floorboards at night. Then came the voices, faint at first, like a whisper carried on the wind. Soon, the whispers formed words, and the words turned into laughter. No matter how tightly the doors were locked or how loudly they prayed, the presence grew stronger and closer. What began as sounds soon turned violent. Furniture moved by itself, blankets were ripped from beds. The children, especially Betsy Bell, were struck by invisible hands. The Bell family's nightmare had truly begun, and in the months ahead, the unseen force would speak, revealing a name and a purpose. My name is Kate. At first, the Bell family thought little of the noises. It was a frontier farm, creaking timbers, animals in the night, the hum of nature. But soon, the sounds took on a rhythm, deliberate, human. Each night, the knocking grew louder, as if something or someone was testing the walls of the house. John Bell would grab his lantern and step outside, scanning the darkness. But every time, the fields were empty. Not a footprint, not a shadow in sight. Then the sounds moved inside. Footsteps echoed through the halls, heavy, dragging steps, circling the rooms where the family slept. The children began to complain of blankets being pulled from their beds. Betsy Bell, the youngest daughter, awoke one night to feel a tug at her hair, then a slap across her face by something she could not see. Fear spread quickly through the household. The Bells prayed aloud, reading from scripture each night, believing faith would drive the evil away. But the unseen visitor only grew stronger. The knocks turned to pounding. Furniture shook. Voices began to whisper, first faint, then clearer, like someone speaking through a wall. John Bell, it called. John Bell. The family could no longer deny it. Something intelligent was in their home. Something that knew their names and wanted their attention. Neighbors were soon drawn by the commotion. They, too, claimed to hear the knocking, the voices, the laughter. Some saw household items move on their own, spoons bending, chairs rocking, doors slamming. Whatever haunted the Bell family was no longer content to hide in the shadows. It wanted to be heard. It wanted to be feared. And then it spoke in a coarse, disembodied voice. It called itself Kate. To some, she was the spirit of a woman wronged Kate Batts, a neighbor who had quarreled with John Bell over land. To others, she was something far older, a spirit of pure malice. Whatever it was, the Bell Witch had made herself known, and she wasn't going anywhere. By now, fear had settled deep into the Bell household. The strange noises no longer startled them. What came next did. One night, as the family gathered in prayer, a voice broke through the silence. "I am here." The sound came from everywhere, the ceiling, the floor, the air itself. Soon, the voice grew stronger, clearer. It spoke in full sentences, mocking their prayers, reciting scripture in a distorted tone. The spirit called itself Kate. When asked what it wanted, it answered plainly, to kill John Bell. From that moment, the Bell Witch made her presence known to anyone who entered the home. She laughed, sang hymns, quoted sermons word for word, and carried on conversations with multiple people at once. Witnesses swore she spoke with intelligence and venom. The witch took a special hatred toward John Bell, tormenting him with curses and physical pain. His face twitched, his tongue swelled, and he began losing his ability to speak. Meanwhile, young Betsy suffered the worst of the violence. Invisible hands pinched, slapped, and pulled at her hair. She was thrown from her bed and left with red marks across her face and neck. Despite the terror, crowds gathered nightly outside the Bell home, hoping to witness the haunting. Many claimed they heard the witch's voice for themselves, taunting, laughing, even predicting future events. And yet, no one could find a source. No trick, no ventriloquism, no hidden accomplice. Whatever Kate was, she was real to everyone who encountered her. The Bell Witch had a voice, a will, and a target. And soon, she would claim her victim. John Bell, your time is near. By now, the Bell Witch was more than a family secret. She was a local legend. Word spread quickly through Adams, Tennessee. Neighbors came to the Bell farm hoping to witness the haunting for themselves, and many left trembling. The spirit never failed to perform. Visitors heard disembodied voices answering their questions, furniture sliding across the floor, and objects thrown by invisible hands. The witch mocked their disbelief, quoting Bible verses and local gossip details she could not possibly know. Even the minister, when he came to bless the home, was interrupted mid-prayer by the witch's voice shouting from nowhere, "Hypocrite!" No one was safe from her ridicule. She laughed at skeptics, argued with believers, and sang hymns in the dead of night. Among those who came was General Andrew Jackson, the war hero who would one day become President of the United States. Curious and confident, Jackson arrived with his men to investigate the Bell Witch legend himself. But before their wagon reached the Bell property, the wheels locked tight, frozen in place. No force could move them. Then, a cold voice drifted through the air. "You may go on now, General." The wagon rolled forward on its own. That night, Jackson's men claimed to feel invisible hands slapping and shoving them from their beds. By morning, the general had seen enough. He left, declaring, "I'd rather fight the British again than face the Bell Witch." Across Tennessee, people whispered the same question. Who or what was the Bell Witch? Was it the spirit of a wronged woman, or something darker, feeding on fear itself? One thing was certain: the Bell Witch had claimed the countryside, and she wasn't finished yet. Not yet. By 1820, John Bell's health had begun to fail. His face twitched uncontrollably, his speech slurred, and every time he tried to pray, the witch's voice would rise over his words, laughing, taunting. His wife, Lucy, cared for him day and night, but nothing eased the pain. His sons guarded his room, terrified to leave him alone. Then, On the morning of December 19th, 1820, John Bell was found unconscious in his bed. A small vial lay on the table beside him, filled with a strange, dark liquid. No one recognized it. When one of the sons offered a few drops to the cat, the animal convulsed and died instantly. From the shadows came a triumphant voice. "I gave old Jack Bell that last dose of medicine. He'll never get up again." By that evening, John Bell was dead. During his funeral, mourners claimed to hear the witch laughing from the trees, singing mockingly as his body was lowered into the ground. Her voice echoed, "Farewell, John Bell." The Bell Witch had kept her promise. The man she vowed to kill was gone, but the legend, her legend, had only just begun. By 1820, John Bell's health had begun to fail. His face twitched uncontrollably, his speech slurred, and every time he tried to pray, the witch's voice would rise over his words, laughing, taunting. "Old Jack Bell, soon you'll be mine." His wife Lucy cared for him day and night, but nothing eased the pain. His sons guarded his room, terrified to leave him alone. Then, on the morning of December 19th, 1820, John Bell was found unconscious in his bed. A small vial lay on the table beside him, filled with a strange, dark liquid. No one recognized it. When one of the sons offered a few drops to the cat, the animal convulsed and died instantly. From the shadows came a triumphant voice. "I gave old Jack Bell that last dose of medicine. He'll never get up again." By that evening, John Bell was dead. During his funeral, mourners claimed to hear the witch laughing from the trees, singing mockingly, as his body was lowered into the ground. Her voice echoed, "Farewell, John Bell." The Bell Witch had kept her promise. The man she vowed to kill was gone. But the legend, her legend, had only just begun. Over 2 centuries later, the Bell Witch legend still haunts the hills of Tennessee. Some say she vanished after John Bell's death. Others claim she still whispers through the woods near the old Bell farm. Do you believe? Whether ghost, demon, or folklore, her story endures as one of America's darkest mysteries. If you dare spend a night in Adams, Tennessee, you might just find out for yourself. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell, because next time, we're uncovering another true American haunting you won't forget. I'll be waiting.